But Arthas is going to be the next hero. So I'm going to go over Arthas' build, and then we'll play the game. So Arthas is, again, a melee warrior. It's from Warcraft. He's got a difficulty medium. He's a lot like some consider him a DPS warrior. So he's not very tanky, but he deals a lot of damage, and he can sustain a fair amount of damage. But he has no real escape. So once he goes in, he's gonna stay in. His Q is Death Coil. Can deal 80 damage to target enemy, or he can self-cast it and heal himself. So it's a heal or damage only for yourself. It's pretty good. It's your one tool to sustain in lane. You can poke in lane with it. Not really anything too crazy. Just a spell that kind of helps to keep you alive in lane. Arthas is Howling Blast, which is one of his better skills, and one of the reasons to play Arthas. It's an AoE root in a target area. It stuns for 1.5 seconds, and it deals 30 damage. So you can root their whole team. It's a good follow-up on certain skills and spells. If your team has Void Prison, you can Howling Blast out of the Void Prison, things like that. It's pretty neat. It's also really good for ganking. Arthas is bread and butter, I would say, his Frozen Tempest. It's an AoE around him that passively continues to gain stacks on the enemy. And the stacks are move speed stacks, so it starts at 6%, works its way up to 30. If you can get in front of the enemy, so with Arthas, when I hit E, I try to walk with him, get the stacks up to 30, and then once I've gotten the stacks, that's when I'll start hitting them. But I tend to always try to apply all the stacks before I start hitting on Arthas. His 2 heroics, Army of the Dead, which is probably what I'm going to be taking this game. You can summon your ghouls, and then you can eat the ghouls. The ghouls also tank towers, they tank bosses. But this is Arthas' way of sustaining. It got nerfed, so it's pretty weak now, but it still does the job. It just doesn't do it near as well. His other is Syndragosa, which is a AoE dragon. It takes like a second to cast, and then it flies towards wherever you've cast it. It's got crazy long range. It's going to apply a slow, and it freezes buildings and structures for 20 seconds. So it's pretty cool. If you Syndragosa their base, you can just dive it. They have no protection. But it doesn't really deal that much damage, and it only slows for 2 seconds. So it slows for 60%, but only for 2 seconds. And then his passive, which is pretty sweet, it's an auto attack reset. It's Frostmourne Hungers. You can activate it to make your next basic attack deal 100% increased damage and restore mana. And we're actually going to be taking talents if we look over the talent tree that synergize with this. So level 1, I usually take Frost Presence. This is going to be more, again, of a DPS sort of damage dealing Arthas. So my level 1 is going to be Howling Presence, or Frost Presence, which is going to reduce the cooldown of Howling Blast by 3 seconds. So I'll be able to lay more stuns down during team fights. Level 4, I'm going to take Destruction, which is going to make my Frostmourne hit for 50% more damage. This is really good nuke in lane to poke people out. I'll be casting it off cooldown as much as possible. Level 7, I'm going to be taking Frost Strike, which is my Frost Hunger is now going to apply 40% slow for 1.5 seconds. So again, every time I get on the target with my Frostmourne, I'm going to apply slow. I'm going to probably be able to follow up my skills. I'm going to get really good poke into them. Probably out damage them, honestly. At least I'm going to try to with this build. Level 10, I'm going to take Army of the Dead. So this is the only way I'm going to sustain outside of death cloning myself during team fights. It's pretty good. Again, you can dive towers with it. You can sustain team fights with it. The ghouls do deal damage, but it's nothing substantial. You won't notice it really. Most of the time they just get mowed down by AoE, but you know, it is the talent we're going to be taking. At 13, depending on their team, if they have a lot of CC, we're going to take Relentless. And if they have a lot of bursts like Jaina, Arthas, we're going to be taking Spell Shield to reduce the damage of spells for 2 seconds after I take spell by 50% damage. Level 16, to try to make up for the tankiness that we lack, we're going to take Stone Skin, which is going to activate. It's going to be an activatable. we gain 30% of our maximum health for 5 seconds as a shield. And then at level 20, again, depending on if their team has a lot of burst, it's like Hardened. If our team has a lot of chain CC, I'll take Rewind. And then if I'm the main tank, I'll probably take Legion of the Northern, which is going to give me 3 more ghouls. My ghouls will heal for more, and they last 5 seconds longer. So, pretty good if fights are going to be sustained and long. Hardened Shield, obviously reducing the damage I take by 75% for 4 seconds. Really good if I'm going to take, high damage ults, high cooldowns. This is really good. And then, again, if my team has a lot of CC and we're just going to look to blow someone up, Rewind's really good. Use Rewind in between your W's and your Q's. You can chain somebody out. In this game, with the Stitches on my team, I probably will take Rewind. You can gank pretty well, but looks like my team's actually gonna have no healer, double stealth. So normally I wouldn't take Regen Master, but because my team has no healer, I'm actually gonna take it this game. And the reason I'm gonna take it is because normally as Arthas I would be roaming and trying to gank the other team and get kills, but in this game I'm gonna be solo in the lane, and I want to win the lane and create as much pressure so that my gank squad, which is gonna be Zeratul and Nova, hopefully can come up and get ganks and get kills that way. So it's more important to me that I sustain in the lane than it is to have a lower cooldown on my CC or my root from my W. So Nova I think would have killed Janna had she had sat in that bush like she was. And in this case I'm actually going to be against 2v1 lane with the Zagara and Janna both being here. So this is actually really good that I got Regen Master, because I probably wouldn't have been able to sustain in this lane if I didn't, from all the poke coming from both of his range carries. So it looks like Nova's trying to get a kill. So I'm gonna do my best to hit a W here, and then we're gonna go in with the Nova. Again, I want to get my slow applied. Oh, Nova, you just gotta land a snipe, bud. I want to get my E slow applied before I even try to throw my W, if I can. That way it makes my W a little bit easier to connect. It's okay to just throw the W blindly to try to connect with it. But if you can get up to them on your mount and get your E going on them, then that's a safer route, because as long as your E's on them, they usually won't get away. And if they get close enough to getting away, then if they're running to their tower or something, you should know where they're running to, and it'll make hitting that W that much easier. So Nova's actually left my lane, and she's come back. Looks like she's looking to kill Zagara. As long as Zagara has these creeps here, we won't be able to kill her. She just runs faster than we do, so I'm going to use my E to clean them up. And again, I'm going to use my level 4 talent, which is going to deal 150% more damage on my D to kind of body out the Zagara from lane. In this game, and just this game, because I'm playing against Zagara, I need to not take damage from those little things. And then again, I'm going to look to kill the creep. How to keep the creep in control. Otherwise, every time I try to slow Zagara, she's going to move faster than me. Just because she has increased move speed, even with the slow on her. And it looks like Zagara has now tapped. if I can get to her without her on her creep, I'll kill her, no problem. Like if she comes out here, but as long as she plays towards her base with the creep like she has going here, then I won't ever be able to get to her, fortunately.
That seems generous.
Missed my W there again. Alright, so I have a tap. This is I think my chance to maybe try to kill her. Pretty good damage. And the cool thing about the Frostmourne is you can auto attack reset. So I'll show you what I mean by that on this creep. So if I auto this creep then hit D, the animation for my auto attack goes again, which means I can get in twice as many attacks in the time that I would normally get in one attack. Here, I'm going to do it one more time. So I'm going to auto, then hit D, and my character will queue up another auto attack. There you go, Zertul just showed up, and that was an easy kill. This here is actually one of the best creep slayers for Zagara. It's between Arthas and Malfurion as the two best. And Tassadar again after they fixed. But yeah, so it's kind of a pretty uneventful game for me as far as top lane goes. It's kind of the thing with heroes though. You want to continuously get experience in lane. So somebody has to do it. It's much like League of Legends. The only thing is it's a little more uneventful because there's no last hitting. You're just holding the lane. In this case, I want to make sure that the creep doesn't get to my towers, because when Zagara and Jaina were both up here, my towers lost a lot of ammo. So I'm trying to get that ammo back. So there are teams engaging on me, and I'm going to use my ultimate, which is the Army of the Dead, to sustain myself. One thing that a lot of Arthases do is they wait until they're like dead to ult. One thing that you'll notice that I'll do in this game is when a fight starts, I will just ult. Like, I'll just ult. Because I want to have my health as close to as full as possible throughout the entire fight, because I have no way to really burst heal myself. It's all sustain healing with his goals, and you almost want to always equals off cooldown, so you're basically spamming your R to continuously equals after you cast your ultimate. If you go back and watch the fight that just happened, you'll see that I'm doing that. And outside of using my D, when it gets to team fighting, I'm mostly focused on just making sure that my E is up. I'm D'ing to get my mana up so my E stays up, and then I'm not so focused on Howling Blast or Death Coil, because they use mana, and if you don't have mana to use your E, then Arthas isn't really doing what he's supposed to be doing. This looks like a bad fight. For some reason they played scared there. going for it. I'm gonna try to raid boss him. Oh, very close. So if that was the old Arthas, I would have raid bossed those guys easy. But new Arthas, you just don't get near as much heals from the ghouls. But I took down 3 of them. Oh yeah, I saw that out top. We're friends with them, so. Alright, so now I'm gonna hit bottom, I guess, and try to soak this shit up before it gets to the wall, and maybe clear out this creep nest. Oh, I just banged my foot. So another death from the old Nazebo. Sometimes when you play games, you're gonna have players that are gonna die. Unfortunately, I can't soak bottom, and it looks like Nazebo got caught by Kerrigan. Kerrigan's one of those heroes that punishes really well. So looks like she continuously is punishing my Nazebo. Might be able to sit here and pick this Kerrigan if she really picks on. Whoa. I'm just gonna die here and make sure Kerrigan dies. So a 2 for 1 out of a 3v5 situation. Not terrible. If Trummel hits a hook here, this could be good. Unfortunately, Trummel is the best Stitches in North America, and Pinchira is the best Nazebo, so looks like we won't be picking up any more kills. But, you know, again, we turned a 3v5 into, you know, a 2 for 1 kill trade, and now potentially the curse. Now I have Stone Skin. Stone Skin is super important, especially against a team like theirs. It's just putting out so much fucking damage out front. Having Stone Skin is going to keep me alive for a few more seconds. And then once I get Harden, it's even better because you can Stone Skin into Harden, which is like super effective. We're just crossing our fingers that they don't come here. Because if their team, okay, so their team did easies instead. Thank God. Because if they'd come here, we probably would have died, especially with Zera top. And here I don't necessarily agree with this call to do hards, because their team is just going to kill the shit out of that boss. But my team wants to do it, so I'm just going to follow them, and then maybe when I ping here, they'll come up to the top boss with me. So, we'll see here. So, yeah. So it looks like the whole team's coming now. While their team's still defending this. Alright, so now Zag's dead. It's a 4v5, so even if they come and fight us on this boss, they are at a disadvantage. Alright, so now it's a 4v4, but, you know, Trummel sacrificed himself for the greater good. By that I mean he just probably suicided, but I'll make it sound like he did something right. I'm gonna try to break this kid off his mount and hit a range. I got a good W on him over the wall. Now with the boss here, we can look to fight. Kerrigan's looking to combo. Again, I have Spell Shield, so I don't need to be too afraid of their burst, but until I get hardened, I do have to play like I know it's there. Oh. I'm gonna tap mid really quick. This is not actually that bad. Please.
You have won my favor, hero. Let your enemies know my wrath.
And we somehow win that fight. I got a really good flank. Got a ton of damage out on Zagara and killed her before I went under. And then because I got mauled, I actually kind of didn't take a ton of damage that I would have taken. And it kind of bought me some time to set up to kill whatever else was coming out. And in the meantime, I was taking a 3v1. So my team was fighting 3v2 at the time because we had actually had someone get killed. So I have hardened up right now. So all this damage I'm taking doesn't actually deal damage to me. I use Death Coil here to heal myself. I think the game should be over. 2 are down. Doesn't look like Jaina's coming to help either. Oh, my ghouls are gonna just get killed by the... Oh. Oh. Trump with the helping hand. Alright, so my team wants to get camps. Arthas is pretty good at getting camps, but he's also kind of weak. Takes a ton of damage. I think we can just boss. So I think Stitches is going to come back. I don't know if he ever really went anywhere, but I definitely could see him coming back if people felt like they wanted to hit hooks. You know, it's kind of like he's one of those heroes. It's like you can play him, you just have to hit the hook. But just to get back, I guess to get back to focus on this, the Arthas. Do I think Arthas will come back? He's potentially. Oh yeah, thank you, Dara. Let me change that really quick. You know, Arthas is another one of those heroes. It's like, can he come back? Yes. Will he come back? Probably not. Stitch is the same way. You can play him if you want. There's nothing that says these heroes are bad. There's just like, there's not a lot to say that, you know, they're better than Murden or whatever. Team seems pretty resilient to do anything right now, but stand around. So this could be a serious throw. especially considering we don't have a healer. But maybe Equinox will buy some time. I actually think that's what he's doing right now. Kid instantly bolted. The good news, I'm pretty sure this will kill them.
Who can gather this one? Me.
Yeah, the game's over. What are the most contested tank picks in competitive play for your experience? Murden, ETC. Yeah, Murden, ETC, and Ubrag. Those are all the hot topics right now. Not so much Arthas. Although, like, you can, like, I mean, if you just watch that game, Arthas isn't bad. He's just, they made him a little too weak. By no means is he a weak hero, like unplayably weak, but he's just not super strong. I mean, I'm a level 12 on Arthas. He was one of my favorite heroes. He was the first hero I bought in this game. I played him all the way to level 10, but they just made him, yeah, they just made him too weak.